Hi everyone, welcome to Think Smart Home. In my previous video, I showed you how to install Frigate on Synology NAS using Container Manager. This is the second video of the series in which we will cover some basic configuration of Frigate NVR, which includes adding zones, masks, and the filters. If you haven't watched the previous video already, I highly recommend watching that one before watching this video. I'll leave the link to the first video in the description down below. Also, you might have noticed that many of my tutorials revolve around Synology DSM. And I do understand not everybody has Synology NAS. So to help you set up and test Synology DSM before you make the investment, I have created a video on how you can run Synology DSM on your PC. You should be seeing the link to that video on the top right corner of this video. I'll also leave the link down in the description below if you want to watch that video later. I highly recommend using this only for testing and consider investing in a real Synology NAS for long-term use, especially if you are planning to host your personal and critical data on it. Alright, back to Frigate. I'm assuming you have already installed Frigate and it's up and running before you can go ahead and start adding zones and filters in the configuration. If you haven't done that already, I recommend again to go back and watch the first video of the series. Okay, to start, go to your Frigate portal and click on any camera you want to add masks and zones for. On the top right corner, go to debug. Here you'll see live view of any motion detection on your live view of the camera. Under the left corner of your camera view, click on show options. Here you should see few options. The first one is bounding box. Bounding box is the box written from the object detection model that outlines an object in the frame. These have multiple colors depending upon the object type in the debug live view. Motion box. When many nearby pixels in the current camera frame are different than previous frames, they are grouped together and indicated with a red motion box in the live debug view. Timestamps displays the Frigate timestamp on top right corner of the camera view. Regions, zones, and motion masks toggles will show all the regions, zones, and motion masks which you have created respectively. Alright, let's start with motion masks. Motion masks are used to prevent unwanted types of motions from triggering detections. Please be advised, these are not masks for object detections. You still can have object detection in areas which you have enabled motion masks. Masks are to prevent a motion detection which you don't really care about, hence don't want to get any notification for that. For example, your camera timestamp, any plant or tree movement, or any movement in sky view or on the rooftop. To create masks or zones, click on Mask and Zone Creator. This will take you to Mask and Zone Creator tool. You should see the usage instruction on top. Click to add a point. Click and hold on an existing point to move it. Right click on an existing point to delete it. Alright, so let's start adding the points. For a start, let's mask the camera timestamp. To do so, scroll down under the mask section, click on add, and then drop 4 points systematically to draw a zone. You can move or remove points according to the instruction to suit your needs. You should see a red shape added to your camera view as per the point selection, and also a new YAML row should have been added under motion masks. You can add multiple motion masks. Let's say I'll create another mask for the tree movement. Each motion mask should have a separate YAML line. You can click on that line to see the mask area on the camera view. Once you are done, click on save and restart Frigate to update the config. or you can also do it later in one go once you have finished creating all the zones and filters. Alright, we are done with the motion masks. Let's move to zones. Zones allow you to define a specific area of the frame and apply additional filter for object types so that you can determine whether or not an object is within a particular area. So for my camera view, I'll divide it in 4 main zones, which I want to monitor for object direction. My zones are outside, parking, driveway, and turf. I'm dividing the driveway into two zones because I park my car on the driveway, and if the whole driveway is one zone, Frigate will keep adding events and recordings because of my parked car. To suppress that, I have masked the object car in parking zone, but I still get the event notification as soon as a car enters or leaves the driveway. So let's create our first zone. The process is exactly same as we created motion masks. Under zones, click add. I'll draw the outside zone first. This will be my completely masked zone basically for all the objects, as I don't care about any object appearing in this zone. I'll place the points to cover all outside area. Once done, I'll click save and go to config and update the zone name. To do that, open the config in new tab and change the zone name and then click on save only for now. Follow the same steps and create other zones. Sometimes the tool behaves weirdly while you try to add more zones. If that happens, just refresh and then start again. Since we have opened the config on a separate tab, so it will not be updated automatically when we add a new zone using the tool. To fix this, make sure to hit the save button on the tool and then refresh the config page. Next, I'll draw the zone parking. I have already explained about why I have divided my driveway zone. As previous, I'll draw points to add a new zone, and then once I'm done, I'll hit save after finishing the dots and update the name of the zone in the config file. Same as above, I'll quickly add zones driveway and turf. I have added zone turf to detect any person on my turf area, and I'll mask car in this zone as I don't expect cars in this area. I'll explain later why I needed to mask car in this zone. Once I am done, I'll save and restart the Frigate to update the config. While this is happening, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon to get notified every time I release a new video about smart home automation, security, and network storage. Alright, our masks and zones are created. You should see these in Mask and Zone Creator tool. Just click on the zone and you should see it in the live camera view. Now let's create object filters or object masks in each zone to reduce false positives. You should be seeing the objects which we are tracking under the filter sections. We added these objects for tracking in our main Frigate config file. Please refer to video 1 on Frigate series to understand how this was done. I'll leave the link to that video down in the description below. To create a mask for a specific object, just click on the add button for specific object and then draw the area which you want to mask. For example, I want to set a mask area for car. I'll click on add to car and draw the points. Once the points are added on the camera view, click on save button. Now go back to config and have a look at the YAML code there. You should see mask coordinates that are added under the object car. Now let's say I want to mask car detection on my zone called outside. So rather than drawing outside zone again under the filter or object masks, I can simply copy the coordinates for zone outside and paste them under mask for car. So I'll simply copy the coordinates for zone outside and paste them in the mask section for the car. I'll repeat the same for all other objects as I don't want to have any object direction in my outside zone. You can add multiple mask zones for same object. Let's say I want to mask the object car in turf zone as well. I can simply copy the coordinates for turf zone and then paste them as a new line under the mask for the car. Alright, now the question is why I am filtering car in my turf zone. It's because if any car on the street drive close to my turf, the bottom center of bounding box will fall on my turf zone, and this will trigger object detection. So I took the easy way to reduce my false trigger and then added car filter for this zone. I'm not saying this is the perfect solution, but it worked for me. You can add more filter based on size of the object as well. I'll leave the link to help documentation down in the description below. Alright, filters are now added. Save and restart Frigate. Once Frigate is back up and running, you should see all the zones and masks which we created earlier under Mask and Zone Creator tool. And as you click on any of the zones or masks, it should be visible on the live camera view. If you go back to debug view and toggle the mask and zone switches, you should see all of them on the camera view simultaneously outlined in different colors. If you want to see the recordings and the snapshots, you can go to image on the left menu and then select the clip or snapshot. You should have enabled both record and snapshots in the config as per our previous video. All the clips and snapshots are stored on our Synology NAS in storage folder under Docker shared folder, as we configured this in our previous video. You can toggle detection and recording on and off from the main camera view. Go to cameras, then click on the icon you want to enable or disable. Alright, this was a basic tutorial on how to set up masks and zones. You can still tweak your filters and configs to reduce the false positives if you're still getting unwanted detections. I'll leave the link to help documentation down in the description below. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.